Morning, lady. And of course, Anna Maria, that's a new person, a lady. Okay. Good. And the lady who works for us, is it the same person? The one that met me in the office the other day? Morning, funny. Ah, not too bad, not too bad. Pete, I was hoping you were going to join us today. You see what I mean by that, eh? Yeah, I think I've been reduced to the ranks, eh? Hey, Pete, that. No, I think it's a short there. Leave it alone, eh? Yeah, got that one wrong. Well done, Pete. I don't know if you went for it in the end or because we all talked you out of it, you didn't go for it. But yeah, you're spot on there. You went for the long. Now you got to put your hand up when you're wrong, eh? Well, from my point of view, you know it's wrong. You were right, yeah. Yeah, well done. You are there. Ha, remember that. Most left alone, thank goodness it turns out, and didn't go for the short area. Thank bloody goodness. Look at that. Well, we was down here somewhere when we decided, I decided, we decided, or whatever. 267 points. Try and get more wrong than that. Unbelievable. Well bloody done. I wish I hope you went for it. I didn't check your account or like that, but I hope you went for it to the end. Sod what the host says. You are 100% spot on. Okay, 9:30. Yeah, oh, you're cheeky. Well, I don't blame you. I mean, the onslaught of either leave it alone or short. Bloody hell, even I've been doing for 50 years, I probably would have chickened out. So, yeah, what a bloody pity. Anyway, we know after the event, as we say. And now let's start off with a really negative note here. Instead of going positive, let's go to negative note. Here's another one. That's another one. Hey, got knocked out of that one. And even talking this morning, interesting because I'm trying to bring it up with you guys here. How you've got to be see what the actual buyers and sellers are doing. I see the chart means buyers and sellers because again, I brought up with one of the other guys in the morning meeting to sell this one, and I've been trying to buy this the last couple of times. Oh, I got it right. We'll hit the TP. Let's just give a bit of a pat on the back. The last time hit the TP. So went in again, and that got stopped out the second time around. And now it looks like a sell. But I have to say, it's psychological. The sellers are in charge. Look at that day. We always say when it breaks above or breaks down, that's clearly broken down for a sell. And I'm going to be upfront. Psychologically, sell the CAD against JPY at these levels. It's nothing to do whatsoever rationality or thought or whatever. It's purely the power of the emotion overcoming you. And I said, I'm chickening out of this one, simply emotions, no rational reason why. And that's why I particularly put up the pound AUD on just now. So let's just discuss this. Technically speaking, this looks like a down to me. I put look at this, even on the weekly. I put my psychological area on the table. It's like saying, I don't know, buy because they might have a Kia compared to a Merc. Mercs are not as good as they used to be. Kias are getting very much better. Trying to sort of get rid of my Merc and buy a Kia instead, for argument's sake, is psychologically difficult. So, all right. So, does anyone want to look at this as a sell? It'd be interesting to see how our emotions come in. Not much actually. So go back to that. Sorry, Isabel. Not much. It's only latterly that it came off. Thank goodness, because I was pro the sell as it turned out. So before we go to the positives, there's quite a few of them. So I'm not being too cute in my negatives. Quite a few positive, more positive than negatives coming out. So sit here as the host, but we'll start off with the negative because I'm trying to get everyone to think a little bit and realize how powerful emotion is. Pete, right, but he didn't go for it. Well, this, I'm uncomfortable emotion to sell it down there, but look at that for a possible downside. So let's try and see. Anybody want to be objective? Oh, Murray's not in here. Sorry, Murray. Marius Murray. Marius Smith, people Murray. Sorry, Marius Smith's not in here. And he went long on the AUD, USD, and I was looking for a short, and he was right. Anybody want to say, sod it, this looks like, technically speaking, forget everything else, a bit of downside. The last candle.
Roger.
So I'm not with this candle is that was a jump up fundies, right? And it's come right off. So yeah. I'm expecting downside purely. I'm not expecting it at all. I'm missing a point here. I'm talking about psychology and actual rationality. Rationally, it looks like more downside. Psychologically, I can't do this. I still thought buy that put, and it went out and we got stopped out of it yesterday. So I'm trying to get across the aspect of the emotions and the logic, how they play such a basic part of our lives. Never mind trading, but we're talking about trading now. And I've been doing this for a while, and yet my psychology is still saying I can't sell this thing. But I couldn't sell it. I couldn't sell it and couldn't sell it. Couldn't sell it. Couldn't sell it. Couldn't sell it. Look what happened. So maybe you should change it around and look at this as maybe a sell. I want you to look at it objective, not what I would do. I'm talking about my psychology to get people to think a little bit. Yeah, right, Lorenzo, you get where I'm coming from. It's very, very, very difficult. So if you find it difficult, you're going to be doing it for a few weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years, I mean, for a long time. Psychology is unbelievably overpowering. So trying to say, look, the downside is downside, the downside, no, I'm just buying this thing. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay. So I'm not advocating a buy or a sell or whatever. I want you guys to think about this and see what you reckon. So if you want to look at a sell on this one, I've got a sell up there. We're going to put a stop to the 4 date on there. Maybe put it up here. TP. Now, Luke, 9311. That's better. It's all right. Yeah. So, yeah. Finally, I remember the days when they tried to weaken it and they started buying the yen, sorry, selling the yen. The government of Japan, so the Bank of Japan tried to sell the yen big. We're talking billions and billions of dollars, and on leverage as well. So even expand that by the leverage to weaken it, and it did, and then it meant strengthen again. They're trying to weaken this yen, but it seems the economy is not accepting that. Okay, no more, no less than that. Yeah. So, what do you guys reckon on this? Morning, knowledge. Morning. What do you guys? Do you feel? Let's just go to mute everyone. Sorry about this. Bit of background noise coming in here. So, what do you guys reckon? Yeah, but I get that. So does that I can see that, but the point is, does anyone want to go and short this one? You can even go further, 91,483 if you like. Yeah, but yeah, let's stick to this one. Never mind oil. Let's stick to this one. I'm trying to get the idea. It was we must think, and because I'm going to put my hand up, at least I admit it. I'm emotional on this one. But the point is, maybe I'm battling to get through on this. Because that's the whole sort of the elixir of understanding life, how powerful emotion is, and if you I'm taking a look at myself and I'm saying I can't bring myself to short it, even though I'm missing out on it. So maybe shake my head and be rational as downside. I still can't do it. I admit it. But if you can get this concept through, it'll make a lot of life. The complex is far more easy to understand. Yeah, even now, come back and tax it. So, right. So anybody, I'm not saying I think I like or whatever, or on a demo, realistically, 2 people want to short this one. Ronan wants to do it. Anybody wants to do this one? Okay, Gerard. Bloody tough guys going around here. Okay, let's put this down. See what happened. Brilliant. Okay, morning, Tiller. Okay, Antonio's already in. Okay, Lorenzo. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's see how that works out. Actually, it'd be all right because I'm not going to make or lose on it at all. I'll lose that profit quickly because I'm going to chicken on this. But it'd be interesting to see this because that's exactly what the world's about, the market's about. This complete tussle all the time with what's in front of your face, logic and rationality, and what our emotion, the sort of subjection is. And yeah, so that's what we talk about. Often you read these things about don't marry the chair. Yeah, it's easy to say, but let's now put into practice. You can see it now. Practice. Are we going to go for the for that point of view? Anyway, yeah, right. Okay, right. Yeah, so I'll put a little line through the previous one. That obviously went wrong. Maybe a point about the GBP AUD. Go through a couple of ones to go more. Well, hang on. No. AUD JPY for buy and ZD for a sell. Well, let's do it in order. Just write that down. NZD, CAD, AUD, JPY. You want to sell and buy. Just remember that. Come back. Just don't forget. Right. NZD, CAD. Well, if you're thinking guys are selling the Canadian, on this one, you should continue to sell the Canadian in theory, because it's come back to test the support. So in theory, you should be looking at a buy on this one. You see what I mean, Tembi? Unless you totally disagree, you should be buying the CAD JPY, so then you're buying the Canadian again, and you'd be selling the NZD, so you expect downside. But if you're looking at more Canadian dollar weakness, then you'd be buying the NZD. I know it gets confusing because the CAD JPY, the CAD's the base currency, the NZD's the base currency. Yeah, I agree on that. FTSE the short, Kieran. Might get a bit of a jump, I don't know, but for a better price, but absolutely agree. I should go off that subject. Remember I mentioned about the overall recession, the problems. Might have a jump yesterday. Look at that, and came off nicely. So yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was the resignation? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point. 15 minutes. Really happened something this morning. Well, maybe we'll do an hour, probably easier. When was announced actually this morning sometime? Bit of bias coming on there. That's right. It's the end of the world there. It's a media, I think, get a name now. So yeah. So anyway, I think that's been now discounted in the market. Yeah. So anyway. So what do we do with this one? Do you want to sell it or buy it or leave it alone? Okay. I think the risk reward on it at this stage might be a bit iffy. You want to put it below yesterday's low. So you're talking the region, sorry, talking the region about 100 odd pips. Well, you can see clearly that's not going to work. So I think as a good example, most is a cop out on this one. The risk reward, the math does it for us, miss it. But actually, I think there's a bit of upside here personally. But I don't think there's enough risk reward on the daily. You might find it on the 4 hour if you do like it. The 4 hour, you might get, no, definitely get on the 4 hour, yeah. You might get on the 4 hour, but I think on the daily, but I do see some upside, but the master gets us get a risk reward. Oh, you already got to sell it? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, well, clearly I'm with you on that one, the lady here. Okay, but you can see how it's come down. Let's just make it a little bit clearer. You see a little bit of wick coming in, but it's not really enough. Let's go to the 15 minutes. Yeah, indecision. So is that going to hold that support? Might come off a bit. In other words, it gets us thinking. I don't want to put doubts in the mind, but sometimes you're not sure. Probably better to say, I'll stick my guns and be not sure than jumping in, or I'm comfortable with the long and things start to go awry a little bit, stick with a strategy, and it often works out. Okay. That just to sort of, to me, what we're talking about this morning, the classic area, how when you're not sure, doubts creep in, and you can get a bit of a sort of a rubber arm, is that the right word? Where you can start changing your view, and then you do, and you wish you had stuck to the guns. So I'm going to go with the leave it alone, but I personally see upside, but whether I see upside or not is irrelevant, because I'm not putting my money on it. I think that's my answer to that one, if it all makes sense. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat line there. Okay, all right, so we'll leave that alone. AUDJPY. This one you got down to looking at a buy. So we'll look at that economic calendar again. Chat one today. Again, 12:30, Lagarde is speaking, the Euro ECB president. Remember that? Lagarde speaking up as 12 today, and a couple of things coming up as 3. The weekly job is claimed, manufacturing, whatever. Nothing. It's important, but not major. So Lagarde speaking, so maybe she'll reiterate the what's called the hawkish stance. That's of reasonable importance. Okay, we're on the daily. Yeah, let's punch it a bit. So you want to buy it. Yeah, we'll come to that in a minute, Lorenzo. Those are good ones. We're doing okay. Hey, most of the ones we've got out the last couple of this week actually have been pretty damn good. That's why I'm more, again, psychologically more comfortable starting with slightly negative though. We've got a lot of ammunition to go back to the major. We've been a crap bloody week. I might have been sort of ducking under the talking about the negative for because I've got a positive to fall back on. All psychology, all of it. Okay, right. AUDJPY. Aussie's come off a bit again. If you look at the fundamental calendar, which I posted, well, not right in this moment, but I'll come to it just now. But we have done this last, well, like every session. You'll see the employment change is massively down. A lot of them more unemployed. 22.5 expected, plus minus 14.5. So massive difference. So that didn't do any fuse the Aussie dollar. But again, on a technical basis, is this support going to hold against the yen? We talked about selling the Canadian. We think the yen's come back to a bit of strength involved. Aussie's been fairly strong, a little bit of negative on the fundamental side. So basically, you're going to buy the, technically speaking, buy it, just come down to support for that. But don't forget, by definition, you're selling the yen. So you're going to sell the yen on this one. Remember the CAD JPY, if you went for the short, you're buying it on the previous one. Just bear that in mind. I know it's different currencies, different economies, etc., but just bear that in mind. So bottom line, do you see some upside here? Well, before we get too cute, let's look at the weekly. Let's look at the 4 hour. Looking at that now, let's look at the 4 hour. A few buyers coming in, 1 hour. A few doubters coming in, look at that. 15 minutes. Sideways. So go back to the weekly. I'm not going too quick. It could come back to here. How far away is that? Only 90 pips. For that reason, I'm going to leave it personally alone. Went fairly quickly there, but it popped up a little bit on the shorter term, and then the sellers came in, and the indecision came in. And I'm looking back on the longer term, the weekly. Look, it came down here. This held, which is important. Is held, and yeah, it could come down a little bit more and then bounce. So I personally think if we want to buy it, we either miss the trade and wait for it to come back again. Would be my choice. Okay, that's what I think. Again, as you're thinking about what I said there, always look not what's in your head, even if it makes no sense. It's what the buyers and sellers are doing, and it seems to me the buyers and sellers seem to be more the downside till it gets here. I think it might attract buyers there. So you'd agree on that, okay? But I personally, my personal opinion. Remember, I mentioned to Pete today. I got the GBAUD wrong. Marius Smith wasn't there. He's joined us now. The AUD USD. I thought the shorts are long. I'm doing this on purpose, not to knock myself, to see how we've got to realize it's not 100% A or, yeah, it is. But they're thinking sometimes we're all emotional and we can't see the wood for the trees or whatever. So, yeah, it's all a learning curve from that aspect, which we can all learn in the forum, if you get my point. So I'm giving mine. You can say what you like. Do you think it's a buy at this stage, or would you like to wait, or would you like to sell it, or what would you like to do? Just trying to remember to put that up. I should right there. It's Pete. Okay. Got to write the FTSE down for again. There's quite a few coming through. It's great. I want you to do that, by the way. Want you to wait. Okay. Okay, so we'll wait on that one. Right, should we go back to the open trades? No, we'll look at the FTSE first before we start modifying and carrying on. FTSE AEF. There we are. Yeah, we mentioned that yesterday. I brought it up, wasn't me? Somebody brought it up yesterday, and I said I'm looking for a short on the weekly. I'm sorry, the daily. Looking for a short. Remember I mentioned that yesterday, and I said I agree. I still agree. I see downside there. It might bump up a little bit because it came off market. Actually, I expect to come up. Been going on about seller rallies for a while. It became a little bit more than I expected, to be honest. It might get a little bit of bounce to get a better price. So yeah, I agree with the sell. We might get a better price. Okay, well, I can't remember last trip on, but I think FTSE. Just trying to before I get too cute. Yeah, it's trying to break through. The buyers came in already on the 4 hour, 4 hour and 4 hour, 1 hour, probably the same thing. Yeah, look at that. So popped up. Clearly, the sales are coming in again. So I think we'll just keep an eye on that. It might be after the session finished at 11. It might be 1 o'clock this afternoon. I don't know. but I think we can sell that, but I think you might get a better price. Okay. That's my opinion. Okay. Right. Let's go back to some of the trades we've got out so far. AUD CHF. Let's do all this paperwork here. Where have we got? Yeah. AUD CHF. Where is it now? AUD CHF. Here we are. 64.30. Well, now we go to Morris. Hi, Roger. I'm in a buy on the Dow Jones. Secret drop yesterday, which runs an uptrend for long today. Current profit, but would like to views on it. I've got to go that start off with. Okay. I'll help them get this right. Alphabet. You're in a buy on it. Okay. My view is it's going to pop up before it comes off again. I personally would be nervous to buy any of the indices at the moment. I'd rather sell the rally, personally. So if you're in a buy on it, I'd be pretty bloody nervous. So let these guys in. I'd be nervous. Sell the rally is the name of the game. So will it pop up a bit? I don't know, but it could be some profit taking. It comes down like that, could pop up a bit. A lot of emotions, like we discussed in the last half an hour or so, could pop in. But yeah, I'd rather sell the rally. Okay, I'll come back to Monaco, AD for everybody, but absolutely. So yeah, if you're in a long, well, okay, fair enough then. But it could continue to come off. But to me, sell the rally. I wouldn't touch it at the moment for a sell. I'm not saying I wouldn't touch it for a buy, but I would prefer, if I was going to go in and do it, I prefer to sell a little bit higher up until I get a convincing breakdown. I want to see that. I want the sellers come back on board. I think it'll be a few. I think there'll be a few profit takers pushing it up before the sellers come back in again. That's what I think on the Dow. If you all know what I mean by that. I just want to reiterate that again. When you sell short, your TP and SL are buy orders, the opposite way around. So if you're going to take profit there and you got you're an individual, it's not going to make much difference. But if you get thousands and hundreds of thousands of people all taking profit, those are all buy orders, and that will have an effective movement price up, simply for an exit rather than actual buyers kicking in. Does that make sense? So you've got to make sure you understand that. So you might think, oh, well, look, it's a change of trends going up. It's more the guys getting out rather than you guys buy. Okay, so we got the concept there. Very important. Okay, that's my point here. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's move on. You got that one, Morris? Yeah. There's a big difference. Have we all got that, by the way? Everyone's got that. That's why I talk about profit-taking bounce or a retracement, a profit-taking pullback. It's people exiting rather than a lot of guys will not know that and get in to add to the fuel, but then they'll get washed out before the big boys come in again and buy after the pullback. That's what the Fibonacci retracement is all about. Okay. Right. Okay. AUD-CHF will clear with brilliant, fantastically in profit. About 120 pips in profit. I presume anybody seeing that would probably modified anyway. Anyway, the trading would be modified anyway. So somebody might have just chickened out and taken it anyway. Chicken out anyway because it's done so well. Yeah. So I don't know how many people it only clearly is. So I'm saying you want to try and get these profit ones moving where you can maximize the profit and not holding on too many sells, because that's another one is incorrect position sizing and holding on to the loss because you psychologically can't take it until it comes back and bites. And then when it does go into profit, you panic and you get out before it's taken away from you, and then it goes in the right direction. So the TP on this one is 51. Wrong one. So 62.28. So we've got a way to go to the TP. So we haven't reached it there. Will we reach it or not? Well, I hope we do. We're not sure. But again, we're going to protect ourselves. So if you move it down to entry, all right, you won't win or lose, but you're missing out quite a bit of profit there. So I think we can do a little bit better than that. Let's because it seems to be doing okay, and the Aussie is a little bit on the weak side for the fund is helping the cause. It might get a bit of a jump on here, where profit taking jump and a technical area, people won't know about the fundamentals. I'm thinking it might get a bounce, it might attract a few buyers. Ooh, look at that support there. My RSI, my stochastic said it's oversold, let's go and buy it. So for those psychological, again, attitudes rather than the overall picture, there might be a bit of a bounce here. So we don't get the stock too close, but we want to make it nicely in profit. So instead of making 2030, let's make it 63.50. Now, if you put it at 63.50, you've still got 80 pips in the tank as a profit. What a pleasure. And it's still, you can afford now to be far enough away to get rid of all those guys from maybe the bounce before it moves back down again, hopefully the TP. So you're in a win-win situation. I hope you understand what I all mean by that, the thinking behind it. So if you are still in it and you got in the market area of 64.30, as explained, Keone and other people, I think 63.50, the modification, should really sort of have your cake and eat it sort of idea. Makes sense? Don't know how many guys on the TR are still in that one. But if you're still, I think Keone is still in, that's where I'd modify my stop to. Okay, have you got that? Can we move on? Euro CHF, that was a sell. We've already got that in the trading room. A sell. Find where it is now. Here we got it now. That was on the 17th, a couple of days ago. One on the dot was a sell. It's now again 100 pips in profit. It's held there. Look how the technicals work, because the guys can see it. That's right, self-fulfilling. They can see it. So they'll probably exit for those reasons or buy for those reasons. If they're exiting on the sell, remember, they're buying to get out, and the buyers will come in, add some momentum on the upside. We see it hanging around there on that specific area, which we can see now, is a bit of a support level. Remember, if you're looking to short, that's support, not resistance. So it might come off again as we speak. Before we look at the new trade, is there anybody else still in this one? Because remember, we did a trading room 2 days ago, what we now Thursday on Tuesday, at 1.0 on the nail as a sell. Remember that. If anybody's still in, you obviously be looking to modify. Okay, you've already done it. So, well done, kid. Bloody hell. I'm getting a bit worried now. I think you're taking my bloody job. Anyway, I'm next for retirement anyway, so you can. Good pleasure hearing you. You're kidding. Stunning idea. Brilliant. That's the guy's only doing about a month or two. Ride the damn profit. Brilliant. Okay. Now, to go in again for another sell. I don't think add to it, actually, if you're already in. I think there's a possibility of another sell on this one, yeah. Right. So I'm going to hesitate for two reasons. Chicken, number one, and rationality, Harper's 12, Lagarde is speaking. So she might, I think, not sure, I'll read that word out short. I think she's going to be adding to a hawkish stance, which might give a bit of euro strength coming in. So I would not chase the euro as a buyer or sell at the moment, but if you're in it and clearing a profit, modify a stop loss. Okay. Okay, at least you made some profit. Okay. But I would not go in again. Okay. Are we happy with that? Consensus? USD JPY. Okay, I'll come to that in a minute. Okay, Euro JPY. They're moving up rapidly. It's just by the buy or any particular trade idea coming out of it. What we're in the daily there, so get a one where the rapid come from. Yeah, it's retracing back to the area there. Again, Euro Harper's 12, like I mentioned, Japanese, we're talking about trying to weaken it, and the strength seems to be coming back in. I think there's too many ifs and buts on this one. To sell it from there, it means you're buying the Japanese yen. I have a problem with that. Again, we're on the 4 hour, to be fair. Go to the daily. Anyway, Again, you say it came back again, but then the sellers came in today. It's only 10 hours old. Fundy coming up as 12, like I mentioned. I think probably stand aside. Okay. No, we'll do that in a moment. GBP JPY. We'll go back. Okay. Before we go on to any more, should we leave this alone? Are we happy with that? If not, we'll go back to it and we can have a look at RR and go for whatever. Someone's got a rational or emotional, whatever reason for it. Okay, right. Dollar yen. What is the dollar doing? Which held it, popped below 102. It's popped back up again. Very iffy. I've made my call that down the line, I do see the yen, sorry, the dollar coming back to 100, but I'm not sure when, but it's going to jump around in the meantime. All right. Cool. Again, do you want to buy the dollar and sell the yen, or do you still think the yen's stronger than you sell the dollar? Look at those candles there. Popped up in the fundy yesterday, and they came straight back. Came off a bit, and the buyers came in. That, first of all, tells me, and a lot of guys out there with lots of money and lots of brains and lots of degrees and lots of experience and lots of knowledge, they're telling me I don't know. So I'm going to go with those guys. I agree. I don't know. I would not jump in and buy it now, and I'm not confident enough to sell it, so I would leave it alone. Yeah. If you want to, Brady, the other guys might follow you. I gave my opinion. I personally would LIA it. You've got to ask yourself as well, why do you think so? It's come back so far. It has to sort of jump up at some stage. Well, you could have said that there. You could have said that there. You could have said, you get my point. I think, yeah, well, leave it alone. Yeah, absolutely. One thing about this business, it's an incredibly great way to actually teach us so much about our personal emotions and take. Start and try and see things as they are rather than our emotional bias. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. That's why I brought the GBP AUD and the CAD JPY today. Because my emotional bias was to short one, and Pete was right, and to buy the other one, and well, we're wrong. Right, we'd be right on most of them, so I can make that comfortable in my comfort zone comment. But it's just getting the idea. Very important. And we're on a bit of a great run this week, so we can basically do it on that basis. Okay, so leave it alone. Right, View, want to go to GBP JPY. What you want to do? Use GBP JPY, GBP buy. Okay, thank you. Always put in a buy or a sell where it helps matters. Okay, you'll look at a buy. It means you've got an opinion. Anyone says, can we look at AUD, BBB? It doesn't mean anything because it means you're sitting on the fence. That's why I don't like demo accounts. It means you're sitting on the fence. Right, so you're looking at a buy. Well done. Yeah, okay. Again, the end's still pretty strong. Pound's extremely iffy. Sorry, guys, I'm not sure. I need some help on this one. I'm not sure. It's in the sell zone, number one. Pops up. The yen still seem to be strong. The sellers came in, then it came down a bit, then the buyers came in again. It's a bit of support there. So it could be holding that for jump up. But then again, you got a maverick of a currency, the pound, which is very iffy. There's a lot of problems out there. We talked about the other day, it was 10% inflation, so a bit of strength expectation of quite a large interest rate rise. Nothing's happened on that. And too many balls in the air to go for that one. Technically speaking, I hear you. It might be a bit of a move up. is it going to be enough follow through to make it worthwhile? 1,220 pips down here. 80 pips. You could probably squeeze a 1.5, 1.6 risk reward ratio. Let's look at the longer term chart. So too much on that one. My comment on that one. 4 hour, still in the sell zone. 1 hour, very iffy. 15-minute, very iffy. I'm not sure. It's in the sell zone there. You get it, the sellers coming in. I'm not sure. I'm not confident. We've had a lot of trades go to track record, the signals that I just said before, mine. I want to maintain that. Doesn't mean I'm going to cop out every time, but I want to maintain the credibility and trust by being sure. And if I'm wrong, I'll put my hand up like I did about the AUD, USD, GBP, AUD, SCAD, JPY, blah, 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 blah. At least I put my hand up. I'm not sure on this one. So don't talk you out of it. If you see it, you're confident, go for it. Yeah, I'm obviously with you on that one, Keone. So anybody else have an opinion on this one as a buy or even a sell if you like? Okay, leave it. Are you JPY in profit for a buy? Check for a sell. $120 pips stop, take it down here. When you get the risk reward, you can take down here actually. I wouldn't do either actually. If you're comfortable, go for it. Then I'll unmute you. You're muted now. I'm not sure I'm muted. You can actually come on and chat to us your particular opinion. But I've made my point. No, you're not the only one. I'm seeing the buy as well. I just think there's a lot of other areas where I'm going to leave it alone. But I'm with you on the buy rather than sell. Yeah. But I'm glad that Morris came on there. He was the only one. Well, you know, but I mean, he went for the buy on the AUD USD. So if you're strong on it, you might come out and say, hang on, that's not a bad idea. If you want, I'll put the R up for you if you want to buy it. I'm just stating my case. Okay. Okay. So, okay, we'll leave that. Okay, good enough. I was on the same page. Something there. AUDJPY, beg your pardon. AUDJPY. You say you're already in a buy on that one. That seems to be coming all right. How long is it going to last? Another story. He's picking up for you guys. A bit to learn here, eh? So what are you saying, Pete? You want to buy this? You're already in, or what do you say? You can chat if you like. Have I muted? Oh, you did go to buy. Okay. So far, so good. Right. Does anyone want to buy this one? I'm not going to buy it, but I hear you. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So I'm repeating myself a little bit there. The reasons why, but I'm going to leave it. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Okay, our CFDs we'll look at later on. They seem to be doing okay. I think you should be in profit in most of them, or slightly negative, but the majority in profit. Yeah, a bit of a trouble bottom, yeah. Okay. Does that mean you want to buy it, Talani? Yeah, good idea. Thank you. Someone's awake here. What about gold? Thank you. No, a bit higher. It came back. Guys have stopped out in the profit. It panicked a bit, and the guys have stopped out. It's continued going up. And I thought, oh my goodness, we're missing out a better profit. but it came back again. Looking back, thank goodness, you're making a profit. It came back earlier on to about 1900 again, or not far off it. Yeah, it came back again to, no, it didn't. I can't make the wrong one there. Chart. Yeah, came back to, there we are. Yeah, it came back to 1900 again for a buy. And if it did, I'll buy it again. I agree. Not this level, no. Leave it. I'll leave this now. Chase it. Okay. Going to comment, come back to it. I'm just going to go to modification. Anybody still in the NZD CHF because it's doing pretty well. We got in at 2 days ago. What's it now? Thursday, Tuesday. Only 2 days ago. 59.48. This was actually Brady's idea. Thank you, Brady. And it's just under 100 pips in profit. Are you guys still in it? If you are, good. Let's modify them. If you've already modified, you're happy with it, fair enough. I'm saying you should modify it to around figure 59. See if we can get more downside to the TP, which is at 51,110. That can't be right. 58. I'm going to say that's not very right. That can't be right. 58.10. Let's see where that is. Should be right at this level. Yeah. It might still come down there. So it's having a bit of resistance here, a little bit of profit taking coming in from Steve, but it's not lasting for the sellers are coming in again. So I think stick with it, but make sure you make money on it, whatever happens. It's only about 40 pips away. So think to the round figure of 0.9, and you make money if it hits your stop, and if it continues down, you make more. Okay. Yeah, thanks, finally. Yeah. So that's the TP. It might still come off. 50-minute again, popping up, but look at that. Sellers. 1 hour, same sort of story. So stick with it. In a nice profit. Ride it. Okay. And if you don't ride it, if it doesn't and it shoots up again, well, annoying, but you only make 48 pips. What a pleasure. Yeah. Now it's been brilliant one stage. It's still not bad, still pretty good. Yeah. It's very tempting to think, oh, it's going so well now. It's going to continue and it bounce up. It's just guys taking the profit, bouncing up. The trend is still down, so we'll stick with it. Okay. So whatever happens, you're going to make money off you do the modification as mentioned. Okay. Shame, Mark. Okay, so those did okay. Euro CHF, we've modified, that's doing okay. In fact, most of them are. Not much point in looking too many CFDs right now because, well, the market's closed anyway, but they seem to be doing okay. We've got a heck of a lot of them out, and they all seem to be doing okay. This might be 1 or 2 in the minus, round about even Steven all in profits. We're doing okay there. I think majority are anyway. Okay. Oh yeah, of course. That's another point. Thank you. S&P, give it that in a moment. The S&P is doing okay. We've got it around about the 4 grand mark, plus minus just below that. Good enough for 4 grand. That's a nice profit, so that's doing okay. And the dollar ZAR hanged on in there, and it's doing nicely for those who took the exotic. As mentioned, again, technically speaking, on the daily, it's had run to some technical resistance there. We may break through, I don't know. But the bottom line is you're in a profit. So anyone who took the dollars now also in a profit. See what I mean? So we can discuss the negative quite comfortably, knowing we've got so much ammunition of profit going up our sleeve, because most of them are doing very well indeed. That's yeah, but this is it. You have to. We've discussed this before about guys going to university to study maths when they haven't really got the basics of the maths before they go and study it. Absolutely, it'd be completely beyond. You have to have that basics. You have to. as one person said when they, I think it was law actually, and you look at the exam paper, the fourth year law student, and you're just starting, you have a cadenza because you're starting. You know what I mean? Of course. I would say like the car, the neurosurgeon, clever guy, sees the car for the first time in his life, and he says, right, to start, he stalls it. And I said, it's too complicated for me, and he gives up. Well, believe me, well, I can't believe me, I'm not a neurosurgeon, but I'm pretty comfortable with the fact it's slightly more complicated than driving a car. So yeah, you've got to do those basics, absolutely. Yeah, so dollar yen is, dollar ZAR is doing okay. One or two who took that one, happy. Where we get in just below 17, I think it'd be safe to stop up to entries. Those guys who took the dollar ZAR, yeah. If you didn't, doesn't really matter, but if you did take the dollar ZAR, put it up to your entry, we should have been right below 17. Okay, don't chase it now, leave it. Okay, so S&P doing fine. As regards the stop in the S&P, yeah, I think you can modify anybody in the S&P. It's been going for, again, a couple of days. We've got 392 going down here. Okay, move the stop down to entry on the dollar, rand, and the S&P. Protect it and see if we get some more downside on the S&P and some more upside on the dollar rand. Okay, at least you're protected on those trades. Okay, if you're not irrelevant, doesn't do you enter now, leave it alone. GBP CHF, see if that bloody negative of mine is coming right, because that's been giving me some serious jip. Still, this. Serious jip, but it's still slightly in the negative, but at least it's better than it was, put it that way. And that's been going on again a couple of days. So again, I think stick with it. Well, you're already in if you are. Don't modify anything at the moment. Just keep your fingers crossed, it will come right. It's had a bash at doing it. Some guys might have said it's no problem, I'm out of it anyway. Don't know if anyone's still in there, but if you are, don't modify anything, just keep your fingers crossed, it will eventually come right. Okay. Go into which I've been going through about 3 or 4 at the moment. Gerard, which one do you mean? No. I think you're in, stick with it. It's giving too much jip. Look at those candles. It's a bit clear, I think. Too much size indecision. Even trying to come off again today, buyers came off. This is, we've only been in the open trade for a couple of days, so buyers came in, buyers came in, and the sellers come in. I think if you're in, stick with it. It might come right. I would say leave it alone for the moment. Okay. Because you'd go and you're getting a better price than the original one, but no, just let's try the shorter term. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the wicks. Always look at the wicks. Never mind the fancy names. Look at the wicks. Remember, quite simple, guys. Buyers and sellers. All about. No matter you agree with it or not. Buyers and sellers. The seller's not in charge, and the buyers are not in charge. See, so leave it. We backs it up. There we are. Nobody's in charge there, so yeah. Who do you want to follow? An indecisive or decisive leader? Same principle. It's indecisive. Okay. Right. And else to go through, discuss the shares you like. We've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out. We're getting quite a few out. I think most of them are okay. If you want to look at them, we can. Unless you've got any new ideas, I'll be honest, I don't. Oh, yes, I did. I did, but sitting on the fence, some of the guys. I thought it was a possibility on this one as a buy. I thought it was a possibility this morning as a buy. It cut. There we go. I thought a possibility of a buy this morning, and I think there was a little bit of hesitation, some of the other guys in our strategy room. But I'm going to say I see a buy here. And never mind what happened this morning, it's been discounted the market now. It's been a slight negative on the Aussie dollar. I still think the connection with AUD, with China is pretty strong. We know about the New Zealand Prime Minister resigning. That's fine. That's been discounted in. The market moves, I think, are being taken out. So the beauty of this, we can go back to technicals, because it's very, very frustrating dealing with an unknown, which is the fundamental, economic fundamental. If it's left alone and we look at the technicals, a lot easier because you can see it's clearer. And as I mentioned before in the trading room, we've got a hell of a high hit rate on the technicals, but pretty even Steven on the fundamentals. And it's not just our fault, anybody's fault. Often we get a whiplash, jumps up, jumps down, doesn't know what it's doing, sort of thing. So leaving out the fundamentals, technically speaking, yeah, I think some possible upside here. Shares will do the pleasure in the hell out in a moment. Before we do that, I just want to do this one. There's a possibility of a forex trade this morning. That's all I've got, by the way. I'm quite open for you, unless you can suggest something. Like Brady and Gerard, etc. A couple of those coming out have been pretty good, and they've done well. NZ, DCHF, AEDCHF, brilliant ones. Not my idea, you guys' idea. They don't know that outside the trade room, so I've taken all the pats on the back. Thank you very much. But between you and me, it wasn't my ideas, it's yours. Brilliant. So, yeah, anybody see a possibility of upside on this one? Okay, Gerard, that's right. Let's put it up and then we can discuss. On the daily, make sure every time. All right, see what the distance is there. Too close, rather a little bit wider. I don't like, as we know, too close a stop. That's too far. We don't need that far. If it goes wrong, goes wrong. 106.90. It's below, getting wrong now. We said below the round figure. 1.0690. That's good enough. You all know what I mean when I say below the round figure. The psychological area of support resistance. We'll take it up here. 1.0858. That's not going to work. Rather take it there. Okay. But what if one not using moving averages? That's entirely up to you. Some people don't use them. Some people use Bollinger Bands, stochastics, whatever. Individual choice. This is my particular individual choice. Why am I doing it? Because playing around it for quite a large period of time, I've found that it works more than it doesn't work. So I'm going to stick with it. Okay. But it's not set in stone. Remember, there's millions of people out there, Theo, everybody else again, with different strategies, and that's why you get the noisy up and down. They've got a 20 days, so they're getting out. I'm not getting out because there's never 20-day on it. You get the idea. But I will stick with the 50 and the 100. Sorry, the 200. I like the 100. Again, your idea, viewer. That's why I've got it now. But 50 and the 200, without doubt, are the most popular simple moving averages worldwide. And so I will stick with it because, again, it's self-fulfilling. Ronan's in. What about you, Gerard? Or anybody else? Sorry, because you said you're looking at it. And they couldn't break the 50, quite right. Okay, right, I'll put it down. Just give me a second, guys. Write this one down. I might even try and send it out. What's today, the 19th? Sorry, guys, give me a couple of minutes while I write it down. If I rush it, it might be typos coming in. 1.0667. 0767, sorry. 0767. 1.0690. 1.0930. Don't worry about the last digit. That's the point relevant. Don't worry about it. Okay. Not a bad risk either. Remember, it's 100,000 the contract size, and it's Aussie dollar is 100,000 Aussie dollars. That's why it looks a little bit small, but because in rands only 85, because it's Aussie dollar is different than US dollar. If you understand what I mean by that. Okay, right. So I like it. A few guys like it. So I put that. I'm going to copy and paste it and put it on the trading support. And I always put afterwards a large amount of TR guys like it. Well, in this case, 3 or 4. Okay, but still. So that's enough if I like it. Just give me a moment. Do it again. Okay, right. Just want to go. Have you all got that one? I've got it written down. If you want to come back to it, I want to CADJPY. CADJPY. Didn't write the bloody thing down. Sorry about that. Oh yes, I did. 94.89 to sell. Well, it's about hovering, so we can't tell me on that. You'll join it. No problem, Brady. Yeah. NZD USD for a possible sell. He wants the levels, so we're going to go back to that. Okay. AUD NZD. Just give me a moment. We're going to send it out to the VIP group. So anybody not in this group, not in the trading room, got less than 2.5 won't receive it this evening. All right. Where were we? Just bear with me. I don't know why I can't do it themselves anyway. Take some time up, never mind. Right, where was it? 1.0690. $1.0930. All right. Just going to have a few moments. Sorry about this. They can do it themselves anyway. Okay, right. This is Okay, sorted. Sorry about that. Hey, Hannah, I don't know how I do this 0.234. I mean, if you can see the risk per micro, surely you can work the rest out yourself. Anyway, that's what's required. Quite irritating, actually, to be honest. Anyway, done is done is done. Okay, right, where were we? NZD USD for sell. You want to buy the dollar. Okay. Why? Ha! You got to go. Cheers, Lorenzo. At least you're joining us. That's the main thing. I get that. Thanks very much. I understand that. Not a problem. Okay, right. You want AUD? Sorry. Okay, we got the stuff now. It'll be put out just now. You saw me write it up there. It'll be sent out just now. Okay, to the VIP group or to everyone. The trading will see it anyway. Okay. Is it? Ah, Ronan, I'm going to like you. Unfortunately, don't take this the wrong way, Ronan. You're just not pretty enough for me. Otherwise, I like you. He's probably thinking, thank God. Anyway, seriously, NZD USD. You want to sell it. Keone, why would you want to do that? Sorry. Just give me a second. Sorry about this. Right. Okay. Where are we? Okay, NZD USD. You want to sell it. Any opinions on this one, guys? Okay, let's go. Let's start all the time frame. Let's try the weekly. Okay. A little bit of a problem to get here. 65 pips away. Too close to get a decent risk reward. That's my first objection. Daily. Daily, a 10-day on it's a short-term one. And the other one, a bit of support, is a bit of a negative, I'm sorry to say. On the 4 hour, the 50 times 4 hour is a bit of support. It hasn't broken through. Even now, I can see a couple of buyers coming to defend it. What about the hourly? I think there might be a bit of upside here, to be honest. I'm not that confident either way, but I actually quite frankly see a bit more chance of an upside than a downside here. So I like these coming out because then it's let's discuss sort of carry on. Come to shares a minute, Carol, but just want to discuss this first. I personally probably some upside here. I think the dollar's sort of can't get it moving to the up. I still think it's going to come down, as mentioned earlier on. If for a trade perspective, I see upside. Can only see some downside. Let's discuss because we got that's what we want. That's what it creates the market of different opinions. That's where we learn. We can't have a debate if we all agree. You know, I see upside. Can only see downside. Let's see what you guys think. Why do you all think that I'm asking the latest question? Micro accounts. It's all the same thing. Micro accounts all psychological. Whether you get a standard, mini, or micro, it's up to you. It's all under the same principle. So yeah, that answers your question, lady. So if you want to go to standard lot, you can. If you want to go to mini lot, you can. If you want to micro, you can. Good, that's downside. Yeah. Okay, we've got somebody who sees downside. So whether you want to do it or not, let's have a look at this for fun for everybody. So just see how it works out. Vuyo, no, sorry, Keone, beg your pardon. Keone and Vuyo. Sell on NZD/USD. 63.90. And a buy. $0.6390. Okay. Does anyone want to do this trade or put the figures up? If not, well, I'll leave just to buy and sell for fun. Buy today, sold tomorrow. We're in candle for down. Well, a lot of people seem to go for the downside, so we should do it then. All right, can we put a stop up here? Yes, we can. Maybe slightly wider, get it out of the way. That's probably slightly better there. So 64.71. Or 64.70. See, that's not going to work, is it? 62, 63. It's not going to work. Let's put it in any way to start playing around with it. 63. All right, we can shift that down here and it'll be sure work there. Yeah. Okay, so right, who's going to support Keone on the sell on this one? I've made my case. I've made my case. What do you think about reviewing guy? Any comments? Okay. Okay, you're going to be a Rambo there, Keone. All right. Well, let's put that. Well, let's put it down then. 64.70. 0.6228. Okay, not many people are looking for the buy, so I'm going to put the buy down anyway and see if it works out. Okay, it's just for fun. I'm a bit of a leave it alone myself, but I'll put a B in just my thinking. So if you want, anybody wants to buy, I'll put the R up for a buy. But I'm going to basically stay outside this one. But I feel there's upside anyway. That's what I feel. That's what I think. Okay, anybody see upside and want to do the trade? Nobody. Okay, let's see how that goes in. The lady, yeah, sorry, the lady, no, okay. Chat about shares, please, certainly. The lady, sorry, quite a bit going on here. Did you hear my points about the micro accounts? You can call it whatever you like. We can do micros, minis, or standard lots, depending on, well, clearly not large accounts, we're asking about micros. Just put in 0.01 or 0.02. They're micros. Hope that answers your question. Okay, shares. We've got a few out. Let's go and do those. Time, yeah. Plenty of time. Good. AAPL, we got in at one. Where are we going? Where was it down here? Apple 135.69. Well, it's about even Steven. Okay, so clearly holds about even Steven. Amazon, we got it at 96.33, slightly in profit. Okay, no problem, Anthony and Tony. Right, 96.33, slightly in profit. Hold on. What was the next one in alphabetical order? Was Google. Google 91.05, plus minus slightly down, but in a few cents. So hopefully that will come right. So probably even Steve's on them. Meta. Oh, do GS. Sorry, where's GS now? Where is it now? 353, I think it was. That's right, 353 we got in. It's now what, 351, a couple of dollars per share in profit. Okay, I think it was Meta we did as well. It's about 136, I think. 136, that's clearly in a bit of a profit as we speak. Microsoft, I think it was about 242, I think it was. Yeah, where is it now? Yeah, 242 we got in, and yeah, that's clearly in a profit as well. So either tiny bit in the red, even Stevens, or sort of reasonable profits. So there's quite a few out there, but they seem to be okay overall. Any questions on that? Oh, Tesla. We didn't do one on Tesla, so if you got in, we can look at it. Tesla, I don't know if anyone took it, but it bounced up. I again sell the rally, we know that now. If you did a Tesla, you should be nicely in profit. Yeah. To chase it now, I don't know. I prefer to see what the NAS is doing after a couple of fundies come out later on. We open up a 4, get a better idea then whether it's worth selling it. In fact, we can even look at it if you're trading on opening. But at the moment, it's not much point discussing it. It's too many ifs and buts between now and 4:30. But it wasn't a trading idea, it's something to look at, so we'll look at it later. Okay. But as I say, GS, Microsoft, and Meta in a profit. I think Apple, Amazon, anyway, out of the other three are break even or something like that. So not too bad. I think Google's in a profit, is it? One of the other was slightly a profit, the other one was slightly not really worth worrying about. Okay, so yeah. So not too bad. But the tech shares seem to be doing pretty good at the moment. Either fairly quiet or okay. So that's not too bad. The other stuff, the Forex ones, doing pretty good. So yeah, it's starting to come right up to last week's fiasco. Let's just do a quick recap on the CAD JPY. Nothing's happening there. That's the only one we got out today, isn't it? CAD JPY, and the one we just got into now. Can't really tell much from that. AUD NZD, how's that going? Got into just now. AUD NZD. We got in a buy at 67. Not too bad so far. So we're in a bit of a profit at the moment on that one, nearly 20 pips. And the CAD JPY is neither here nor there. It's virtually even, Stephen. Okay. Any questions? quite a busy trading room this morning, which I like. Obviously, it's been quite hectic. Anything I missed out on? I mentioned about that anyone into the index of the S&P move your entry move your stop loss to entry, and the same with dollar rand. Those who went for it. No, it wasn't, Mark. Came a bit late. It's a whole discussion about emotion and logic. I just can't bring myself to sell the CAD JPY. But technically, it looks like a bit of downside. Some guys liked it, so put it up. But no more, no less. But yeah, so some guys wanted to sell that one. We've stopped up yesterday. I've got this fixation. Again, emotions and rational. Got this fixation of the Canadian being under an upside, and we're saying, well, maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't overcome my fear to go and sell it. And yet, would I buy it down here? Probably not. So yeah, but a couple of guys want to sell it, so I put it down for a trading room idea for those who want to sell it. Good. Okay, fair enough. Okay, good enough. I saw you. By the way, I saw you in the 7:30 show last night with the CEO. How did it go with you, Mark? Good. So you enjoyed it. Good stuff. Just basically, for those who don't know, I did post a training yesterday. It was a 7:30 last night. It was a Q&A session with the CEO, the Harts from Pletson, field some questions and try to be open and discuss the pros and cons of the company, the trading, etc. Yeah. Because you say you put your ass on the line there, because you might get some smart ass coming in and asking awkward questions. So it's not that easy. Yeah. Yeah. Good. That's what's the feedbacks. Because if he asks me, I'm not going to tell the boss that's rubbish. I mean, so he knows I'm going to say it's pretty good. I mean, but it doesn't really count too much sort of subjective bias. So it's an outsider. If you don't like him, walk away. That counts more. So that's clear, that feedback. Good. Okay. So right. My losses goes up. Hey, I'm sorry, Morris AUD and Pete on the GBP, and who was the other one? The other one. This goes up. I'm gonna make your life a misery, guys. I'm gonna crow, but we shall see. Okay, Ronan, it's getting pretty close to closing time. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much, Ronan, and hope you're making some bucks out of it. Are you making any bucks out of these signals? I think it might have gone now. Anything positive to say on the signal we've had this week so far? Anyone doing okay? Good. Thanks, Mark. Good stuff, Anna Marie. Could be negative head. It wouldn't be very different to be better than last week. God, that was a bloody terrible. Good. So far, so good. Yeah. Actually, Mark, before you go, just mention, he said, WhatsApp me, should I modify my stock to break even? I won't make any money on it. He said, after last week, that's a fantastic bit of winning trade news, eh? God, it was like I was last week. Good. Yeah, it's a natural. With all due respect, I hate to pick on age, but that's one thing of youth. You think you are. It's natural. Yeah, and sometimes you get older, you tend to be the exact opposite around, overcautious. Look at that old fuddy-duddy driving 100. Look at that 19-year-old driving at 200. Same sort of thing. So the cost is the same. the costs are going to be exactly the same. If you got a what you would call it, a spread, it'll always be you get in a short on this figure, get out on that figure, and that's just spread, or vice versa, you're going along. So it'll always go in. If you're scalping, you'll see a negative you enter, and once it gets into the blue, that's your profit anyway. But I keep saying, you just got to remember, you've got about 3 odd pips to pay. So if you're looking for a 5 pip move and then get out, you made 5, but the 3 of it spread. Get the idea. Yeah, mostly. You've got to stop. I've got it written down here, and I put a big cross on it. It got stopped out. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, we'll see probably a bit more action at 4 because a few fundies are coming out, and then we can look at Tesla and a few other things as well. There might be, I don't know, because I can't tell anything can happen with the fundamentals coming up as 3, but it might be, just technically speaking, a bit of a jump up after a reasonably big fall off yesterday. Down again, so just bear that in mind, but we shall see going forward. Okay. Any other questions before we leave it from here? I'm glad I got the feedback. I just want to see some positive feedback there. It's good stuff. Ciao for now. We've got a couple of minutes left before we close off. Anything else you just want to quickly ask before going into? Don't forget 12:30. Thank you, Hera. 12:30, don't forget President Lagarde speaking, Euro President, ECB President. Go. Okay, fine. You're on yesterday. Did you enjoy it, by the way? Saw your name was on there yesterday at 7:30 show. Did you enjoy it? Did it thank you, Vera. Did you have any comments on it?
Yes, no, I really enjoy it. Hardus is well-practiced trader, and he knows what he's talking about. So by just listening to him, it's worth my while. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, good. So you got some good stuff. Excellent, yeah. And
Yes.
just bear in mind, just bear in mind, again, unfortunately, rules are rules. And he was quite open about it. Anyone going to the office, he'll help out. Somebody asked about mentoring, and he did say they don't have they're not representative to give advice. Just remember that. Okay, so they can show you a lot of stuff, but they can't actually give you advice. In other words, buy or sell something. Just bear that in mind. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just a matter of his confidence levels. Me as a learner trader, it helped a lot by just boosting my image. This is the main thing.
Yeah, give them the confidence, basically. Absolutely, yeah. And it wasn't BS. He did make over $1 million. Actually, on Sassel, funny enough, you mentioned that. He got in a Sassel and he did make $1 million. So he wasn't kidding on. Actually, slightly more. So yeah, he did very well on that one. Good. So yeah, okay. Good the feedback. Fantastic. And catch you, those who can make it, obviously. Hope no load shedding is going to stuff the system up for you guys at 4 o'clock. See how it goes. Cheers, hey.
Cheers, Roger.
Cheers.